What's going on, Moon Gang? Welcome back to another week of fun in the sun here in stock market land. This is your dumb money update for today, Monday, November 15th. Now, in this particular update video, we'll be talking about some important political developments and how they relate to the overall market. We'll be talking about the insane data we're seeing related to progeny. We'll be talking about why Mara fell off a cliff today, and we'll be talking about why Lucid is currently ripping in after-hours trading. And of course, we'll be touching on AMC and GME, and I'll be specifically noting some of the wonky level 2 action that people notice related to those two and potentially other equities. So with all that being said, let's hop right into it. Earlier today, President Joe Biden signed a $1 trillion bipartisan infrastructure bill into law, unlocking funds for transportation, broadband, and utilities. Now, this particular bill was in the works for quite a while. The Senate passed it forever ago, and the House just passed it. So it finally got put on the president's desk, and today he has signed it. Now, keep in mind, this is the infrastructure bill. There is the other one we're still waiting on, and that's the spending bill. So understand that there's two different important bills that are currently being discussed. Now, for this one in particular, President Joe Biden signed the more than $1 trillion bipartisan infrastructure plan into law today, Monday, November 15th. The plan will put $550 billion with a B in new money into transportation, broadband, and utilities. Biden made the case for the Democrats' $1.75 trillion proposal to invest in social safety net and climate policy. That's what you need to know. If you want to look more into it, you could definitely check out this article. But as it relates to the market, kind of an interesting day. So the S&P 500 today gapped up but went red, ended up closing pretty much net neutral. The exact same thing could be said about the Qs. Gapped up, went red from its opening, pretty much net neutral. And then the Russell 2000 did the same thing but actually went red even more and closed it down 0.4%. This one I thought was a little bit weird just because generally when you get these infrastructure bills, it is beneficial to the Russell 2000. So I was a little bit surprised about this, but overall, a pretty muted reaction. We're not seeing major movement in three of these key indices, the SPY, the Qs, the IWM, and also from a broader market commentary, we're not seeing much movement. I mean, Bitcoin's down a little bit, Ethereum's down a little bit, crypto overall appears to be down a little bit. Shout out to the Sheep Army, they're in the green. But other than that, the market's net flat and the crypto kind of down, but not some explosive overall market commentary to be had, particularly today. But we did see some crazy stuff that I want to bring to your attention. So based on the date, we're halfway through the month, and that means that you get some interesting reports. And one of the reports we got today was the newest up-to-date FTD report, failure to deliver. And this is interesting just because of really the fact that we know naked shorting is a type of FTD. Not all FTDs are naked shorts, but all naked shorts are FTDs, just to get that out there. And this brings into question what is going on with PROG progeny. Currently trading at 347, kind of came off of this low of 286. I honestly think if this gets above $380, $4, this thing can really get moving. Now, to be completely transparent, I am long on this company. I have a position just so everyone knows I want this to go higher. I got into it because I know, as you're about to see, some of the numbers are there that it could squeeze, but I think it's truly an undervalued company. Progeny, for those of you who don't know, it relates to the world of Humira, which is one of the most popular drugs in the world. And it recently was awarded a patent for Humira, but instead of it being injected, which is how most patients take it right now, it's more of an oral method. So to me, that's disruptive to a $10 billion a year industry. And right now, PROG has a market cap of $460 million. So to me, I just think it's undervalued. And to kick, like the kicker in this situation, the little shooter on top of your marg, is the fact that these numbers are insane. Short interest estimation to be 30.6%, utilization 99.9%, shares on phone 36.6 million. Look at these FTDs. So it's a ticking time bomb, man. Utilization high, short interest high, shares on loan high, cost to borrow 117%. What? The FTDs, check this out. 6 million. Look at this spike in FTDs. Now, do I know what these FTDs actually are? No, because the government isn't kind enough to give us that. But we know as of October 29th, these FTDs were considerably high. The options market is very, very heavy. And if this thing gets moving, I think it could trigger some FOMO buying, which could potentially trigger a gamma squeeze, which could trigger a short squeeze. They play back and forth. The potential is here. Now, am I in any way saying that this has to happen? Am I guaranteeing it? No, I just like the odds of this scenario. I think it's a company that's undervalued, and then it has also just that nice chance, the theoretical chance of making a crazy move because it's obviously being abused. Not only from the fact that and I get it, this is October 29th, and you'll be like, Matt, you're 2 weeks late. Check this out. If we're looking at the NASDAQ threshold list, which is basically tracking for it having a duration of FTDs, PROG is there. So if we're looking at PROG from just the fact, does it hit every single check mark? I would say yes. High short interest. I would like it to be a little bit of a lower float if I really had to pick, but it's still a pretty low float. Utilization is high. Cost to borrow high. It's a company that's undervalued. Here, I mean, if it was a little bit of a lower float and if the community, I like how it's trending, I just want it to get bigger and bigger. To me, PROG, Progenity, has quite a bit of potential. I have a long position. I'm excited to see how it plays out, but please, as always, do your own DD. Moving on, let's talk about a very popular crypto miner, Mara. I should say maybe potentially was popular. Look at this thing. This thing took an Olympic level dive off of a cliff today, just down, down, down. MARA down 27% today. Now, what happened? Marathon digital stock falls farther after it discloses SEC subpoena. This is no bueno. Here's what we have. We understand that the SEC may be investigating whether or not there may have been any violations of the federal securities law. We are cooperating with the SEC, and it does specifically seeking documents about its Hardin, Montana data center facility. So obviously the SEC noticed something wonky, and they're coming in trying to figure out what's going on. Now, if this proves to be nothing, I do expect the stock to come right back up. But if it proves to be something, obviously not the best scenario for Mara, just so you know what's going on there. Now let's talk about LCID Lucid, the new EV kid on the block, looking phenomenal. Today it gained 2%, and after hours trading, it's up 3.8%. As I'm filming this, it's at $46.60, very close to filling in that gap all the way up to $56. What's the dealio? What's going on? Why is Lucid doing so well besides the fact that EV is doing well, especially because oil is sky high? This one is doing abnormally well. It just had a very good earnings. Lucid announces third quarter 2021 financial results, and Lucid Air wins 2022 Motor Trend Car of the Year. So I want to make this very clear. We have some of the results, but the earnings call has not happened yet. There's a very good chance by the time you're listening to this video that the call will either be on or it'll just be concluding. I'm just giving you the data from the reports that they filed pre-earnings announcement, the actual call. But these are still, I mean, people are liking what they're hearing right now. So we know that Lucid Air won the 2022 Motor Trend Car of the Year. That's awesome. Customer reservations rose to 13,000 in Q3, reflecting an order book of approximately 1.3 billion with a B, and have since increased beyond 17,000. Successfully listed as a public company. We know that happened in July, especially if you've been tracking Lucid. It was the SPAC partnership with CCIV, Churchill Capital. It was one that a lot of people were talking about. And I think this is pretty awesome. Lucid bolstered its balance sheet to close Q3 with approximately 4.8 billion in cash. So we're closing out Q3, 4.8 billion in cash, orders upticking. Hey, I like the direction of this US-based EV company. Very, very excited about it. Definitely worthwhile to at least be paying attention to. Now, AMC and GME. AMC gained 6.7% today. GME gained 3.5%. Hey, if you're an AMC GME ape, green is good. Both of these moon stocks, green day, no matter what's going on, it put more pressure on the shorts. Both stocks in the green. I'm excited. I'm looking for GME to get above that 212, 215 area for a nice technical breakout. And in terms of AMC, I'm really kind of watching 44, 44.5, something right there. And we're getting over for both of these, kind of these big daily wedges that I think from there, people who are on the sidelines, on the fence might be saying, this is my opportunity to buy this breakout. So those are the particular levels that I'm watching. Speaking of levels, the estimated short interest according to Ortex on AMC is 16.4%, with the average age of these shares on loan out for 75 days. Man, they've been paying that cost of borrow for quite a while. In terms of GME, the estimated short interest, estimated emphasis on that, is 8.6%, and the average age of these shares on loan is 63 days. Similar to AMC, they've been paying that fee for quite a while. So AMC GME, in terms of the price action, had solid days, but the thing that people started to notice that was kind of weird was something very wonky going on in the level 2 over here. So throughout the day, many astute apes noticed that the ask was frozen, and it was actually frozen at a level below whatever the bid was. Now that doesn't make sense because we know the ask is people who are willing to sell, so higher prices, and the bid is people who are willing to buy, so lower prices, and the price that we're trading at is somewhere in between. It doesn't make sense for these to really overlap in any way, especially to a notable degree. Now we are in after hours trading, so I can't show you in real time, but I can show you a picture of it. And what was going on here is, and shout out to the real Brennan B, I appreciate you posting this. This was frozen. So we noticed that the bid was continually moving, but the ask was just frozen here. And people started to scratch their head. They're like, well, hang on, what's going on? Is this in any form, in any way, I guess, a depiction of clearly in real time something illicit, nefarious going on? Now, at first, that's a fair question to ask. I totally get it. But upon further research, I truly believe this is just a common data mess up from Webull. Whatever was going on, remember when you're looking at the level 2 based on Webull, it's exclusively the New York Stock Exchange. You're not getting the level 2 of other lit exchanges, just the NYSE. And it was frozen. And the reason why I think it's just a data mess up, like poor programming or a technical bug, is because if you looked at other stocks, and this is what I did on the live stream today, we looked through Apple, GameStop, SPY, Tesla, as many stocks that we to think of. I think even DraftKings was there, and it happened to all of them. This was not exclusively an issue to AMC or GME. Literally anything that Webull was showing, the ask was frozen. So that's my assumption. It's just like a poor coding. I think this is just a common technical bug. I think it's amazing that people notice this, called it out. That's what we should always be doing. We should always be testing any theory and see if it holds water. This particular one, I just don't think it necessarily does, because we saw the same, I guess, frozen action on literally like any equity we could possibly think of. Feel free to check out the afternoon stream from today. Overall, if you're in AMC GME, there should be a smile on your face. Things are super, super green. Lucid, same thing. PROG, in my opinion, same thing. Actually, PROG to the point of like, I don't know how the SEC isn't looking into it. The amount of FTDs this is crazy. This should not be happening. And Mara, the reason it's so down is because they were subpoenaed by the SEC. So with anything that we covered in this particular video, I would love to get your thoughts in a comment below. And until I catch you next time from me and Chair, best of luck in the markets.